This is where art and history collide, a portal into historic small-town America, where we uncover the moments in time that inspire my paintings. I'm Whitney Whiteow, your host and your artist, and today's episode, we're going to talk about why I'm an art collector. Not just an artist, but an art collector, and what's going on in March. So, to get into it, I feel like the reason I collect art a lot with, among others, is the emotional reaction that I get from viewing a piece. And I feel like true art really does evoke an emotional response. And that emotional response can be a whole magnitude of responses, right? And then also when you own an original, then it's like you get a little piece of that artist's soul, and you can really see and feel the life that comes through the work. And so, backstory a little bit. When I first landed in the art world, right, I wasn't introduced to it at all until like 2019, 17, something like that. I was blown away when I found out that people pay thousands upon thousands of dollars for something that you'd hang on your wall, right? It just didn't make sense to me at the time. I wasn't surrounded with like a bunch of like really pretty things growing up. My mom always did a really great job with her house, but it was obviously a lot like the Hobby Lobby type stuff. And so I wasn't exposed to like real, true pieces, beautiful pieces of artwork. And so, yeah, I was blown away just why you hang it on your wall, right? That was my initial reaction. And then watching my mentor paint and stuff, and then being able to see the world completely different. It just opened up my eyes, and I was like, no wonder people pay this amount, and no wonder artists charge this amount, because it does take a lot of time and a lot of dedication to create artwork. So yeah, I understand it now. I do. Okay, so talk about my very first piece of artwork that I bought from another artist. Obviously, I still have pieces of my own, which I love, and I'll never sell. So it was at a show in Great Falls, and my booth was next to the Dana Gallery's booth, who represented Robert Moore. And Robert Moore is a Montana artist who does like really thick impressionistic palette knife landscapes. And he's also colorblind, it's incredible, the stuff that he does. Anyway, he had a vase of flowers there, and sunflowers, and he painted them. So I got to watch him paint the entire thing. And then they hung it up and put a price tag on it. And I went over and like, oh, that's a nice painting. You know, I kind of want that painting. Like, right? Should I get it? I don't know. I mean, I think it would be a good investment, for one, because Robert's a very well-known artist. And I think it will just accrue value over time. So that was that logical reason for collecting art was, it can be an investment. And so I saw this one as an investment. And it was out of my price range by a lot that I felt like I couldn't afford it necessarily. And so it was like $3,000, a little bit more. And I was like, oh, I don't think I could spend that much money on a painting, but I am asking like, in my booth, my most expensive painting was like $4,400. And I was like, okay, maybe if I sell a painting, then maybe I can buy it. And I had called my husband. I'm like, I think I'm going to buy a painting. He's like, oh, really? You probably shouldn't be buying artwork right now. And I was like, I don't care. I think I'm going to do it. And my friend Troy Collins, who studied under, he's also just amazing artist and very successful artist. And he came over and he's like, Whitney, are you going to buy that painting? I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to buy it. He's like, you totally should buy that painting. And then his daughters came over. You should totally buy that painting. And so I got like really hyped up, of course. And then my big painting sold. And I was like, sweet, done deal. Now I feel a little justified to spend $3,000 on this painting. And so I did. And I'll tell you what, it sits in my house and it is by far one of my favorite paintings. And I'm a little bit of a little old lady. I mean, as you can see from my beautiful cameo. And I love florals, just love them to death. And so this painting is incredible. And the more it sits in my house, the more I love it. Like every day it just gets better and better and better. And so I've slowly started to build up a collection of very beautiful things. I want to surround myself with very beautiful and authentic type of things. And then the next piece of artwork I bought, I was down in Logan, Utah, visiting my best friend. And we went to an art gallery and we had left the kids with a babysitter and just went downtown to eat and stuff. And there was a sculpture there. I don't remember I couldn't tell you exactly the material. It's not bronze, it's white, a white cast sculpture. I don't remember what it is. Anyway, it's not plaster. So it was this mother, and she's draped in a towel, and it's, it's not super detailed as far as like there's big thumb marks in it. And, she has her newborn baby and she's kind of leaning down to kiss it. And I started to tear up actually, because I just missed my kids that much for the few hours that we were gone. And so I started to tear up, and Ari looks at me. She's like, do we need to go home and get the kids? I was like, yeah, but I think I need to buy this sculpture. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I mean, when somebody gets emotional over my paintings, it's like, you need it, right? Like you need that painting. And so I really didn't want to be a hypocrite either. And I, really felt like, I'm not going to regret this at all. And so it was like, I think it was like $1,200 or $1,500. And, and so when I looked at the price tag, because I didn't look at it and I was like, I think I need to buy this. I hope I can buy this. And then I looked at the price tag. I was like, oh, I just spent $3,000 on a painting. So this felt like nothing at the time. And so I brought it home and it sits on my bookshelf and I love it. And it's just a constant reminder of the reality of motherhood and how beautiful it actually is. And those in the tender, messy, just wrapped up in a towel moments. Her hair is in a bun and stuff like that. And I loved it so much. And so then I have the next painting I bought is a Cult Idol painting, and it's a really small one, and I saw it on the internet, and it's a starry scene, a night starry scene with a little Indian teepee in it, and I was just filled with wonderment. Like I could just look into that sky and just see the infinite worlds that we exist in, and just yeah, it was wonderment. That's the emotional reaction I got from it. And so, of course, it's like, okay, I need to buy that. I had an emotional reaction. Because, I mean, you look through a ton of art. Some things trigger you. Some things don't. And so it really triggered me. And, okay, I got to buy it. And so I bought that. And then I also have a Richie Carter painting. And that's another investment piece. And I love it. It's a landscape. And he's tonalistic. And he's wonderful. And then I'm really, really excited about this one. I made a goal this year. It's like a personal / business goal to own a Brent cotton. And Brent is from where I'm from, and he's a tonalistic landscape artist. And he is by far my favorite artist, like in the world. And he's nationally recognized. He's won a ton of awards, and he's incredible. And the guy alone, I mean, I've met him several times, and he's just a stand-up, just amazing human across the board. And so I was looking online, and I noticed there was this auction in Jackson Hole, and for fun, last year I bid on a G. Harvey painting. It was like $150,000, and I knew I wasn't gonna win it, but I bid on it. It's a bold move. So I think I bid on it twice, and of course I didn't win it. Thank goodness. I'd have to mortgage my house for that painting. But so I was in their system, and they sent me an email about this new auction coming up. So I started scrolling it, and I stopped, and I was like, oh, a Brent Cotton is in it. And it's a smaller one. And I'm like, ooh, if I could get this, oh my gosh, I'd be so happy. And I had a budget, I couldn't go over $2,000. And so I bid on it, and its starting bid was like $500. I was like, sweet. Of course I don't want to win it that little, because it needs to retain its value and stuff like that, because it's well deserved. But anyway, by the end of the auction, I get the painting, and I am, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited. And it's like perfect, because I'm also a Lord of the Rings nerd, huge fan. And so the painting is named Speak Friend and Enter, and it's this painting of a tunnel, and it's just so perfect. I love it, and it hasn't gotten here yet, and so of course it's going to be way better in real life. And Brent had messaged me, because I had made a video about like, I want to own a Brent Cotton painting. I put it into the world, and he saw that, and he's like, thanks, Whitney. And I was like, yeah, actually I'm bidding on one of your paintings right now. And he's like, oh, is it that tunnel painting? I was going to bid on that because it's like one of my favorite paintings. He's like, but if you're going to bid on it, I won't. And so he asked, so the auction ended, and he's like, did you win the painting? I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I did. So I am over the moon, like, so thrilled. Should I put money towards that painting right now? Maybe not, but I have it. I'm getting it. It's not here yet. And I'm so in love with it. I'm just the coolest thing. Like, I put it out into the world, like, I'm going to own a Brent Cotton. And then all of a sudden, this auction comes up, and I win this painting, and it speaks to the nerd in me for Lord of the Rings. And yes. And it's also an investment piece. Like, Brent's going to be, his stuff is very, very, very well known, nationally recognized, award-winning artist. So there's my justification as well, besides the pure fact that I just love it, and I love Brent. And so I'm so excited to get that painting. So yes, that is me as an art collector. I think it's the funnest thing in the entire world to collect artwork, and then to be able to get to see, people and buy stuff from them. Another little tangent story is I was at a crafters market in Missoula, Montana, and there was this guy who made knives, and they're beautiful knives, and they're a hunting knife. And so we walked by, and I was with my husband, Jason, and I was like kind of Christmas shopping for Jason. And so I was just kind of seeing like what he would like pick up, and I want to support a bunch of local stuff anyway. And so he picked up one of these knives, and he was like, oh, wow, looked at the price tag, put it back down, and wandered off. And then I snuck back, and I was looking at him, and the guy's like, oh yeah, they're completely 100% warranty, trying to sell me a little bit. And I was like, okay, I want this one. And he just stops, and he's just like, really? Like, yeah. And he just like lit up and was like so excited that I wanted to spend $300 and plus on a knife that he made. And so yeah, I mean, that was better than that experience. Buying the knife was almost better than owning the knife. I mean, Jason loves that knife. It's a very, very, very good knife. But yeah, it was just like, I made him so happy. And we get very, very, very happy when you decide to spend your well-earned money on something that we poured our heart and souls into, like a piece of us, like when I sell that painting, you're getting a piece of me. And I do get very emotionally attached to my paintings. And so I almost have a hard time selling them because I want to know that they're going to go to good homes and be taken care of and loved, you know? So I'm fairly picky. I wouldn't say picky because at the end of the day, yes, I'm running a business and I need to sell artwork. But I also know like the value of my stuff. And I'm not gonna, settle. I'm not desperate enough because I know, if somebody doesn't buy it, that's okay because I'll have it too. And I know eventually it will sell. And so, yeah, that's why I collect artwork and my experiences, and I will build up, an inventory of beautiful pieces and fill my house with original artwork that's not only mine, but other artists. And yeah, I love it. It's so exciting. And then you just love the pieces even more and more and more the more they're in your house. So yes. So if you want to have some of those experiences, like if you've never bought any artwork, I highly encourage you to. And if you're in the northwest region of Montana, there is an art show coming up in Great Falls. It's called the Out West Art Show and Sale. And also, it's Western Art Week. And there's a lot of different shows. But you get to go into a ton of artists, different booths, tons of us will be there. And you get to walk around and explore and see if there's something in your price range that you could own. And it brings so much value into your home and beauty and sophistication and stuff. So that's going on March 20th through the 22nd. And so I will be in room number 268 at the Out West Art Show and Sale at the Heritage Inn, Montana. Heritage Inn, Great Falls, Montana. There's also going to be a lot of amazing artists there as well. I think there's close to 100 of us at that show. And then there's the Best of the West art show. And that is over at the fairgrounds area of Great Falls. And there's probably 100 plus more in that show. And then you have the C.M. Russell event, and they have an auction. And I've got a piece in that. So it's the piece from last time, the Texas 1913 Congress Avenue. And so, yeah, that's what's going on. And the whole reason Western Art Week was established in 2068, 67. Let me just double check on that. Oh, 69. Yep. So Western Art Week was founded in 1969, evolving around Charlie Russell's birthday. So Charlie Russell is basically the father of Western art, and he is a Great Falls legend. And so every year they put on Western Art Week around his birthday, which was March 19th. And there are several different shows and events and educational opportunities to go and learn about the arts and Charlie Russell and stuff like that. So yes, that is it. And that's where you can go and see everything. And Gary Lynn Roberts, my mentor, is going to be at that Out West Art Show, and of course the Russell. And then there's also a March in Montana, which is another auction. But yeah, you just get to go and explore it. So it's family friendly. It's a great time. You walk a bunch, so you get some good exercise, and you get to visit artists and, ask us about our backstory or ask us about our art week, or just, you don't even have to interact with us if you don't want to. Just go look at some art and enjoy it. And enjoy it for free too. If you don't want to buy anything, you get to go and immerse yourself into the imaginations of all of these cuckoo artists, people. We're not cuckoo. We're perfectly normal human beings. Yes. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Where Art and History Collide. Again, I'm Whitney Wido. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.